Whoa boy, they set the trap and the administration's intelligence officials fell right in it. I give you one Senator, Mark Warner, who is the vice chair of the Senate Intelligence Committee and who spent a little bit of time today absolutely grilling a number of administration officials who were involved in the absolute debacle that was the missharing, mistaken sharing of sensitive, if not classified information with the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic. And I'll give you a little sample of that through the non-answer of Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, and then I'll be back to discuss why this is quite a pickle.
There was no classified material that was shared in that.
So then, if there was no classified material, share it with the committee. You can't have it both ways. So please answer the question. If this was Director Gabbard, if this was a rank and file intelligence officer, what would you do with them?
Senator, I'll reiterate that there was no classified material that was shared in that.
Ma'am, if there's no classified materials, share. And then if there's no classified materials, then you can't even answer the question whether you on the chat.
Now, the situation is formally very simple. The messages either contain classified information or they didn't. And if they did, the administration is in quite a pickle now. Because the Secretary of Defense himself, Pete Hegseth, vehemently denied any allegation and in the process managed to insult both The Atlantic and its editor-in-chief. But the line of questioning of Senator Warner is very clear. If the messages don't contain any classified information, then just share them with the committee. And if they don't share them with the committee, then they have to explain why. And this is exactly where the trap set by Senator Warner snapped into place, because at this point, there's only three possible paths. Now, of course, they could admit in the end that they were classified, but they're more than likely not going to do, and that leaves essentially two options. One is to formally claim executive privilege, and the other one is to claim another type of privilege called the privilege under deliberative process. Executive privilege, which is the president's right to withhold information from Congress, claiming that it is confidential. It's possible, but it opens up the administration to two kinds of pitfalls. Either they have to admit that the information that was mistakenly shared was so confidential, though not classified, that it warrants executive privilege, and that would still come across as unacceptable. Or they say nothing and they just claim executive privilege, which is a little sus because what are they hiding? Additionally, let's remember that the Republican Party went absolutely nuts when President Biden did the same thing not too long ago. The last path is a lesser known one. It's called the privilege under deliberative process, and it allows the administration to withhold information, even from Congress, that was discussed in talks or drafts to allow people to speak openly, even if that information is not classified. But this one can be overcome because it's subject to congressional subpoenas and judicial review. So it could buy them some time, but it could also backfire spectacularly. So for the moment, for sure, we have two things. On one side, the refusal to answer by Tulsi Gabbard, and on the other, the denial mixed with verbal diarrhea by Pete Hegseth. And in all this, the most fascinating thing to me is that here we are, so much time has passed and we're still having to deal with Trump team's inability to keep a lid on classified information. Who'da thunk?